Hello, everyone, and welcome to the LFC Transfer Room live stream with myself, Dean, and Reese. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this wonderful Easter Sunday evening while Liverpool currently sit alone on top of the Premier League following a 2-1 win to Brighton, against Brighton, should I say, and Man City and Arsenal ending in a snooze fest of a draw that a few of us seen coming, not many of us. A lot of us wanted City to win, purely so a couple of Arsenal fans might shut up. But I think a draw is the best result for us all around. So it's one of them. Sorry, I had to reply to somebody else that's joining the stream there now with Justin. Justin should be on with us now. But yeah, it's one of them that is going to be talked about a little bit because it was so hyped up and everybody kind of just shot the bed with it realistically, and it was a bit of a snooze fest. Dean said before we started he nearly fell asleep while watching it. I don't blame him. I nearly fell asleep as well. But yeah, as a review of the two games that were on today, I suppose we review both of them in the one go. I know we had our little review earlier with Dan, but I suppose we'll go over them both as their own games because Dan obviously wasn't around when this game occurred. So, Reese, I'll go to yourself first. The two games that occurred today, of the three teams that played, Liverpool, Arsenal, and City, take your bias hat off for a moment and look through the lens of just a purist of a football fan. Of the three teams, Liverpool, Arsenal, and City, who do you see as the most likely to go on and win the league as it is right now?
Liverpool, not to be biased, but I just think it's in our hands now because we're top again. Yeah. So as long as we win our games, we should win it. But I would say, even though that game was boring with City and Arsenal, what I would say is defensively, I think both of them are better than Liverpool defensively. Not that we're terrible, but how we kind of play is more open. Whereas today's game, or especially Arsenal anyway, I would say how they kind of improved from last year's defensively, they look a bit more tight at the back. With obviously Rice and defensive mid as well. But yeah, I would lean towards Liverpool because it's ours to lose now. Unless we win, if we win the rest of our games, we win the league. So yeah.
Exactly. And Dean, I'd imagine you're very much in the same camp as Liverpool winning the league. Just based on the performances today, like both Arsenal and City kind of seemed a little bit scared of each other, so to speak. They didn't really go at each other. But a couple of your thoughts on both games today and how performances were. Like, obviously, Liverpool went down early. We still came back and we won. But your thoughts, who's winning the league if from an unbiased point of view?
Well, first of all, it's quite hilarious how the media, all the neutral fans, and even both sets of fans were hyping that Man City game up to be the next side. You know, Muhammad Ali versus the next great rival and all that big heavyweight boxing fight. And it's just nothing. It was flat, wasn't it? It was awful. But that suited us down to the ground. It was 90 minutes of my life. I won't get back, but I'm happy with the results. In terms of winning the league, I am one of the more pessimistic Liverpool fans, but I still say I agree. It is in our hands just for the fact of we're 2 points clear. We know 2 points is massive when you're up against teams like Man City and the current Arsenal squad. And the other things that go in our favour is City is starting to lose some players. Might only be small injuries, but they mount up. We know that. Arsenal, I think at the back, they're the best out of the three. I'm not going to lie. But they just very hit and miss in terms of goals. Like 1 week, they'll look like they'll score 7. And then the next week, they just won't like they'll score any at all for 3 or 4 hours playing a football match. I think when they're coming up into the Champions League, that's going to hit them even harder. We discussed this before when we get into that Bayern Munich game, and then they got to play Spurs, they got to play Chelsea, and we know they could easily drop points there. But we also got to take into account we still haven't got the best goalkeeper in the world back, as much as Quansah Keller has been very, very good. We still haven't got the best right back to come back yet. You know, it's only a couple of weeks away. And then we still got one of the most clinical finishers in the league to come back as well. And I think if he played today, we won 5-1. You know, the amount of chances and shots we've had. So it's looking positive. Hopefully we can keep getting the lads coming back over the next few weeks and just take it game by game. But yeah, like from a pessimistic Liverpool fan, I'm feeling positive. Let's just keep going game by game.
Yeah, it is. It's game by game at this point, as you mentioned in the chat earlier. I know you mentioned that in the WhatsApp group. It is game by game, and that's the only way that we can really look at it. Like, we have 8 weeks of Premier League football left, And as it stands right now, we are 2 points clear. It is in our hands. It is our league to lose right now. And with the Champions League football that will be taking place of with Bayern Munich and with Real Madrid, and there's everything that's going on. There could be so many things that happen, and we've Justin coming in and joining us now. I'm going to change up everything here. We get Justin in and get his 2 cents on this as well. Justin, thank you for joining us. Just a little bit messed up with time zones, but that's all good. That's all good. We're here now.
Are you guys good?
So we're doing good, man. We're sitting top of the league, man. We're doing really good. So one of the things that I wanted to get into and chat with the lads, and I'll ask yourself as well, is take your LFC bias out of the equation. And given that the top 3 teams played today, albeit 2 of them against each other, with Man City and Arsenal playing today, from a football fan's perspective, if you watched both of those games and you were unbiased, who would you consider to be favourites to win the Premier League, and who would be most likely to win the Premier League?
I'm thinking, if I'm being honest, I'm looking at Arsenal and I'm thinking, they got a result at the Etihad today, and they got results against Liverpool as well this season. So I'm thinking maybe they might be favorites. I'm thinking Arsenal are favorites, City are favorites based on history. So I think we're the underdogs here, and I mean, we're showing that we shouldn't be forgotten or anything like that. So.
No, yeah, 100% agree. Look, City have gone and done it, and they've done it multiple times, and we've lost by a point, we've lost by 2 points, we've in heartbreaking fashion multiple times. So it is in our hands at the moment. The way that I look at it is just win. I don't care if it's by 1 goal, if it's by 10 goals, if it's however it is. If we have to drag ourselves through hell and back, just win. That's it. That's all we need to do realistically. Jen, thank you so much for your £4.99 with your super sticker. Appreciated it as always. One of the biggest contributors that we have. It's always very much appreciated, and it all goes back into the channel to help support the channel as well and give out better content for you guys. And you just mentioned here as well, the ref was awful today with ourselves and Brighton. We should have put away our chances going forward, and we need to be more clinical. 100% correct, Jen. And Mo Salah had 12 shots and scored 1 goal. He could have had 2 goals, but he decided to consider the Brighton goalkeeper to be Kelleher and just pass it back to him for some odd reason. I don't know why that happened, but realistically, you don't care if you have a bad performance and you win. You only really care if you have a bad performance and you lose, and that's just the way I look at it. 3 points is 3 points no matter how we get them, and 3 points is more important no matter what way we look at it at the moment. But considering about people who are impactful on the game, Alexis Mac Allister is really solidifying himself as, first of all, player of the season, signing of the season, and possibly in the conversation for one of the best midfielders in the league, especially this season. He has come in and completely transformed his team, especially after moving forward. He was doing very well as a number 6. Obviously, he's moved more forward, and he's even gone up another level on top of that. Justin, Alexis Mac Allister today seemed to dictate everything from pace of the game, passing, penetrative passing, set up Mohamed Salah for his goal with a beautiful pass that pierced through 2 centre-backs and was finished beautifully by Salah. But his season so far, give me a couple of your thoughts on his season so far, and how you'd rate him as opposed to some of the great Premier League midfielders that are in now, like De Bruyne, Rodri, and others like that.
Okay, so I think he's definitely grown into his role this season. He didn't necessarily start off playing in this vein of form, but he's definitely grown into a role. Exactly, he's living up to our expectation of what we would like to see from the Alexis Mac Allister signing, and if where he ranks compared to Premier League midfielders like Rodri, De Bruyne, I think it's still early days. I think it's very promising, very, very promising, but it's definitely something he can build on, and eventually maybe he can be in that category of player.
Yeah, he's young. He's only 23, 24. if this is his floor, his ceiling, Reese, is absolutely astronomical. Like we could have, like we talked about Dominic Szoboszlai earlier on in the season wearing the number 8 jersey and being very akin and likened to a play style of Steven Gerrard in some ways. But Alexis Mac Allister seems to have overtaken him in his move forward, and one could almost say that Alexis Mac Allister is a little bit more likened to how he controls the game as Steven Gerrard did back in the day. It's not out of the realm of possibility that he could stay at Liverpool for a long time and really establish himself as one of our best ever midfielders. Reese, sorry, that was
sorry.
My bad.
Sorry.
Okay.
No, I think Mac Allister's a great player. Obviously, like Justin said, when he first started, obviously he wasn't playing in his natural position. He was playing in the 6. So he's kind of grown into his position. But I just think now, because he's playing in his normal position, this is kind of what we should kind of expect from him. I think he's doing really well. Obviously, he controlled the game really for us today. If he's not on the pitch, I wouldn't say we lose, but I'm not sure we win that game because all the attacks were kind of going through Mac Allister. I just hope it keeps going, to be fair. He's doing well. I just hope he just keeps elevating.
Yeah, if this is his floor, Dean, honestly, the sky is the limit. He could very well, and like I personally think as it is right now, he deserves player of the season. He is definitely the signing of the season. Getting him, I feel bad because I'd nearly send Brighton another £20 million just to be kind about it because he's absolutely phenomenal.
I don't feel bad. That's Brighton's loss. They should have put a higher release clause in there. You know what I mean? So
I get it. I get it. I don't feel bad about it either. They got 115 million for Caicedo, so they're not exactly strapped for cash.
It was just good business from Liverpool again, isn't it? So
yeah, it is exactly. That's exactly what it is. But realistically, Dean, when you look at it, it seems that of the two midfielders that went for big money, so to speak, out of Brighton, Liverpool got the steal, and Chelsea seem to have gotten a bit of a lame horse.
Yeah, so that's a fair comment. Like I say, especially in regards to the fees mentioned. I think, to be fair, some people might turn a bit of funny on this comment, but I reckon it's taken 15 years. We finally found a Xabi Alonso replacement.
Yeah,
I think it's a fair comment in my eyes. You know, the way it dictates the play.
A better comparison than the one that I made with Jared. Xabi Alonso is probably a much more accurate comparison.
More of a conductor. Yeah,
exactly. We pushed everything through him today. He just unlocked that defense. The set low block. It was a very strange tactic. It worked there, in fairness to Brighton. It did work. They were compact to the back but pressed at the same time, and we had no space. We had to play through the midfield because we couldn't press out wide. We couldn't play through the width. The only width we did really have was Bradley. So we had to play through the middle, and we had to push everything through Mac Allister because he was just picking the pocket all the time. Them little spaces that he thread Salah through 2 or 3 times. Yeah, this was probably one of his best performances, and that's a major compliment considering how consistent he's been over the last, I'd say, about 6 to 7 weeks. It's probably since January, since he has been moved further forward. He has been next level. I did still like him in the 6. I know there's certain games that didn't really suit him, especially like the physical games where he got knocked off the ball a lot in the 6. But when we dictated the play as a 6, he was very, very good still. But we clearly see why we signed him. This is what we signed him for, and he's been unlocked. His talent is there to see, and he's only going to get better. Even into the next season, forward in a new system, he's fantastic, isn't he? He's multi-dimensional, can play in different ways. He's a steal. He's probably the biggest steal of the last few years easily, and he can go on to be one of the best Premier League midfielders the way he's going.
Exactly. And look, a couple of the statistics that he has today from Brighton, and I'll go back to your point as well about the past couple of weeks. I'll give you his contributions over the last 10 weeks nearly. So today against Brighton, 1 assist, 93% passing accuracy, 5 chances created, 1 big chance created, 11 final third passes, 50% long ball accuracy, 3 clearances, a block, and 6 recoveries. Like, tell me a blade of grass that he hasn't touched. And then for his last 8 starts, Brentford a goal, Luton 2 assists, Chelsea trophy, Nottingham Forest an assist, Sparta Prague a goal and an assist, Manchester City goal, Manchester United goal, Brighton an assist. What more could you want from a midfielder when you're bagging that every time? And as you said, Dean, as well, we've the best right back in the world to come back. We've the best goalkeeper in the world to come back. And we're 2 points clear at the top of the table. I think we're looking pretty good. I won't lie. But to speak on some of the youngsters, and this is what Jen also mentions here, that we need to speak on the youngsters. Before we get into that, I am going to ask everybody to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Really do appreciate it if you have done so. It is absolutely amazing if you have done so. If you have liked and subscribed, make sure you have your notification bell on for all future streams and videos so that you never miss out on anything. Jen mentioned in here, obviously, the talent that we have in the youngsters is mind-blowing. So I'm just going to bring up a couple of bits here that Conor Bradley alone for Brighton today, 85% passing accuracy, 4 chances created. It's almost like Trent was actually playing. Excuse me. Kind of got choked up there thinking about that. He only lives an hour away from me, so I'm kind of like it's like a local boy doing it for me, even though he plays for Northern Ireland rather than Ireland. But accurate long balls, 100%, successful dribbles, 4 of 6, so 2/3 for a right back. Tackles 1, 5 of 6, 7 recoveries, and 169 nice % of his duels. So, realistically, Liverpool pulled a world-class right back out of the academy in Trent Alexander-Arnold. Seems they've pulled another one out of the academy in Conor Bradley if he continues at this level. And we all know, like, he's not... Trent is obviously going to get back into the side immediately. He's not going to have to play second fiddle to Conor Bradley. We get that. But it stands to Conor Bradley's credit that we haven't necessarily missed Trent Alexander-Arnold in a sense that he's come in and it's like, okay, we're fine. We're not worried. We're all good. We know Conor Bradley starting. Cool. No problem. We're not worried. Trent, take your time. You can come back whenever you're ready. Reece, between him and Jarell Quansah, they're 2 players that have really come in. And Harvey Elliott is probably a third that you could throw into that as well. 20 years old, and he's over 100 appearances for the senior team. Mind-boggling at this day and age. Harvey Elliott, Jarell Quansah, and Conor Bradley Reece. Just a couple of thoughts on some of them because they're absolutely astounding to come into this Liverpool team because of injuries and just absolutely ball out as if they've been playing Premier League football all their lives.
No, yeah, I've been impressed with all of them. Obviously, even though Elliott's a youngster, I would still say he's a bit more senior than Quansah and Bradley because he's been around the first team last season as well.
But he's younger, which is the funny thing.
Oh, so I didn't even know he was younger than him, but yeah, to me, he's a bit more senior.
Yeah, he's younger than Conor Bradley.
Okay. But no, I've been impressed with all of them. Obviously, Quansah kind of come out of the blue. I still think we need another centre-back, but I think it helps that we have a youngster there that can come in for the long term because he just came out of nowhere, really, and just taken to Liverpool like a duck to water. Conor Bradley, I've been very impressive. Like me personally, I don't see me, if I was choosing, I wouldn't have Trent at right back anymore. I'll just play Bradley there and I'll push Trent into midfield. But obviously, probably Klopp will probably put Trent back at right back. But I'm hoping he just puts him in. I just think we're more balanced as well when we have Bradley at right back, as a traditional right back, not the inverted. Yeah, all of them I've been impressed with. Today I wanted to see Dan's. I wanted him to get some minutes, but obviously he didn't come on today. That's who I'm kind of quite excited about in terms of the next one, Dan's, because he's very good at finishing. But all the youngsters I've been impressed with the way they've stepped up. We wouldn't be where we are right now if it wasn't for all of them stepping up in consistent games.
Exactly.
So looking forward to the future with the squad that we have.
Yeah, the investment that's gone into the academy is clearly borne fruit, and it's already bearing fruit. And Klopp has really brought a lot of these youngsters through. Justin, on the likes of Jarell Quansah, Conor Bradley, Harvey Elliott, and then you could also name others like James McConnell, Bobby Clark, Jayden Dans, and you had just the list is kind of getting very, very long. out of the youngsters that have played for us so far this season, Reece mentioned that he's very excited to see how Dan's develops. I myself am very excited to see how Quansah develops. I think he could nearly be our Virgil van Dijk replacement and save us £80 million. Who are you most excited to see come through?
Well, right now I would say the two that are most exciting are the ones you just called, Jadon Danns and Quansah. For me, I think Danns is a top talent in the making. His goal record this season speaks for itself. Coming in, every single game he played, there were moments where it looked like he could score or really contribute to the or really contribute to the scorecard in some sort of way, goal or assist, or even the pass before the assist. And well, Quansah is extremely composed. It's ridiculous how calm he is on the ball. Even today, he there was a point where it looked like he lost his footing a bit, and then quickly composed himself and took back control of the situation. So I'm really excited to see Quansah. Another shout is James McConnell. I love how he has contributed in the games that he hasn't gotten a chance to show what he's made of. And I'm really impressed with his technique. At first I really didn't think I wasn't really sure about him, and then eventually I saw good ball striking technique. The way he has good confidence too, because there are times where he just takes a look up and he just has to push through the midfield. So I'm really excited to see McConnell as well. So yeah.
Like Paul mentioned here, not getting Josko Gvardiol for 85 million, but have Quansah for free. Absolutely unreal business that we have. Dean, one of the things that Paul brings up here, and I thought it might be worth mentioning, is Adam Lallana's comments, both before and after the game. Before the game, he was saying that he was very, very desperate for Liverpool to win the league. And then after the game, I believe, and I think this was after the game, or else it was before it. It's absolutely amazing coming home. I think that was said before the game. It's kind of like if anybody watches Formula One, everybody is a Ferrari fan. Even if you're not a Ferrari fan, you're a Ferrari fan. So it's kind of like everybody's still a Liverpool fan, even when you leave the club. Clearly, this leaves an impact on everybody. But do you maybe think that Lallana's kind of snapshot that he had midway through the game, that he kind of was like, I'll just kind of hit this a little weakly here. I'm just going to do them a little bit of a favor. Do you think maybe that was on his mind? He's like, I could score here, or I could just, just miss it by a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, it didn't look very convincing, did it? We all thought when he got through at that chance, we thought, oh, God, this is going to be in. And then he just sort of trickled wide, and it's like, Liverpool touches everyone's hearts, whether you're a fan or a former player or a current player. It leaves something on your heart, doesn't it? He saw it in his eyes at the start. Well, before the game, he misses it. He misses Jurgen. When Jurgen came to the club and he had that hug right at the end of his first game with Lallana and he collapsed into his arms. I think from that moment, that was a bonded for life. And yeah, I can't agree with anymore with Lallana. We all want to see Liverpool win the league. I think it's what's best for the league. It's what's best for us all, isn't it? But as you mentioned about the academy, it's crazy. Go back 10 years. It was a bit of a laughingstock before Jurgen came in. Once at our academy, Brewster was the only shining light, and look how he's turned out for Sheffield. We had Connor Cody being released. I know he's ended up forging some sort of career, even though he ended up playing for the Ev. But look at it now. It's a cash machine. It's a talent machine. It's probably, without trying to be biased, probably the best academy in the league at the moment. It's certainly doing the best job for its team. Saved the club a lot of money, and it's saving the club some points as well in the league. I wouldn't, correct me if I'm wrong, probably Boris centre-back, it's churned out a player for every position for us this season. Do you correct me on that?
Quansah's centre-back.
Yeah, other than another one.
Other than another, sorry, you clearly spoiled for riches you want to be. Jesus.
You basically have a full 11 from the academy nearly.
That's true, because there's still players to come back of, I think, or Owen Beck, is he out on loan or is he?
He came back from Dundee. He's injured at the
And then
moment,
you
so
still
Owen
got
Beck is a left back. So yeah,
I think we've got a kind of position for everywhere because you've got Tyler Moore and Anchor Valley as well that are on loan at home.
It's unheard of. It's crazy, isn't it? You wouldn't think you'd find that in a top end Premier League side, having that many players being trusted and used. Yes, okay, the injuries haven't helped. They've actually forced a hand. But in January, if you were Man City, Man United, you would have just gone and spent money just because you could, just because you don't have the trust in the youth. Whereas we've had to do that, but we've happily done that, and we haven't noticed a significant drop off, which is the biggest testament, the biggest compliment you can give to the academy setup and the academy lads that have come through.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely beautiful to see, because if there's one thing, like, I love my American sports myself, the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, and it's always great watching a homegrown talent, and I say homegrown, a guy you drafted, a guy you picked, coming through and coming good, and it's always beautiful to see that as a team, because this kid has been here, like Quansah, he's been here since he's 5 or 8, and now all of a sudden, and he would have watched players ahead of him. He would have been growing up in the academy watching Steven Gerrard play. He would have been growing up in the academy seeing comeback wins and everything. That he would have been, what age would he have been? He's 20 now. He would have only been about 16 watching us come back against Barcelona and being like, yeah, that's going to be me in a couple of years. And now look at him. He's sat here in the top of the Premier League with a Premier League competing side at the age of 20, 21, and is getting regular starting minutes and is being trusted in massive games. And it's beautiful to see. We've talked about the likes of Jadon Dans. We've talked about Quansah, Bradley, McConnell, Beck. Like, Jesus, the list is as long as my arm. One person that we haven't really talked about today in much detail is Mohamed Salah. And it's ironic to say that, considering the fact that Salah can disappear for 89 minutes and then score a goal in the 90th minute and win you the game. And it's like Casper the Friendly Ghost. Of his last 23 games, Chelsea assist, Bournemouth goal, Newcastle assist, Aston Villa goal, Wolves 2 assists, West Ham a goal, Spurs an assist, Brighton 2 goals, Everton 2 goals, Forest a goal, nothing against Luton. Should have had a goal against Luton, if I'm being perfectly honest. Brentford 2 goals, Manchester City an assist, Fulham assist, Sheffield nothing. Hopefully he'll change that on Thursday evening. Palace a goal and an assist, United nothing. Hopefully he'll change that in 2 weeks' time. Arsenal a goal, Burnley away nothing. He'll make up for that coming shortly as well, because I think he was injured for that game, or he didn't play much that game. Newcastle 2 goals and an assist, Brentford an assist and a goal, Man City nothing, Brighton today a goal. I know we joke about it and we say that he's disappeared and he had 12 shots on goal and only one of them was a conversion into a goal. But realistically, Reese, you don't care as long as we get the 3 points at the end of it, and as long as he scores and wins us a game. He could have 100 shots on goal. If he scores one and we win 1-0, nobody's going to care.
No, first and foremost, as long as we get the points, first and foremost. It is frustrating sometimes, though, watching him. Some of the chances he does miss, it is frustrating. Because really, we should have won that more comfortably. Obviously, yes, we got the points, but we should have won that bit more comfortably. But the most important thing is the points. And if he can score, whoever scores, as long as we get the points, first and foremost.
Yeah, it is realistically just that way. Points are points, and they're the thing that matters most, whether you win by 1 goal or whether you win by 10 goals. Justin as well, Mo Salah's last 23 games, he's more or less averaging a goal or an assist each game, and that could be very crucial and very instrumental in us going forward, especially with some games that'll be coming up that may be tricky, the likes of Aston Villa away, the likes of Spurs at home, Man United away, Fulham away and Everton away in the same week. He could be very crucial in that as well, along with our Europa League exploits, where we're going to have to go and play Atalanta and then either have to play Benfica or Marseille coming up too. Somebody like Salah that can disappear for 85 minutes and then have a moment of brilliance is the kind of player that wins you a Premier League, isn't it?
Yes, having a player like Mohamed Salah does help you win the Premier League. But I would argue that he didn't. I mean, how could you have 12 shots and you're not there. You're there, obviously. So I think maybe he might not be as involved in the build-up as we may like to see. But even with Diaz's disallowed goal, it was him who gave the assist, who provided the
Yeah,
assist. So
exactly.
so I mean, it's very crucial that Mohamed Salah is available in the last stretch here. Very crucial, and it's going to be so pivotal to us winning anything again for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it is, and Dean, it is players like that. Look, I know we joked Justin that he had 12 shots and he only scored 1 goal, but he still scored, and he also got a faux assist, we'll call it as well. He just continues to churn out returns, Dean, and it is something that needs to be said and needs to be looked at, that for the rest of the season. Actually, I'll throw you this question, and I'll go back to Justin and Reese on it as well. Last 8 games of the Premier League, I'll get up who we're playing. We'll just focus on the Premier League because we won't focus on Europa League because that's going to be a different kettle of fish altogether. Give me 1 second now. I'm going to get up the last games here. I have it in front of me. I have a little, not a spreadsheet, but there's a site that I have that I'll go off, and we'll just get up Arsenal's, ours, and Man City's as well. And I'll see if I can share my screen and get everybody having a look at this. You know what? No, I won't share the screen. It'll be fine. So, this is from game week 31 to game week 38. This is essentially what's going to be occurring. Liverpool have Sheffield United, Palace, Fulham and Everton, West Ham, Tottenham, Aston Villa, and Wolves. That's how we finish the season. Out of those games, who do you think is going to be the most influential in helping us finish on top of the Premier League?
It sounds like an easy question because you're going to say Salah, but it's also a hard question because every one of these players has had a significant impact this season. So it could be absolutely any of them. Jota could come back and carry on his terrific form that he had before his injury. Nunez could go on another absolute mad run scoring goals. Diaz today was probably one of his better performances this season, if not his best performance this season in my eyes. Like I said before, with Mac Allister dictating the game. So that's the one big compliment about this Liverpool team. Everybody has provided a significant contribution throughout the season and continues to do so. Just first and foremost, I think you're being very harsh on Salah, Stephen, thinking he disappeared for 88 minutes. Yes, okay. I was screaming at the tally, I'm not going to lie, at the fact he missed on chances. But he had the chances. We've had this a few times with Salah where he hasn't been scoring many goals by his standards, and he still gets the chances. That's the key thing. He still gets in the positions. He still terrifies defenders. I'll give you a comparison today. Erling Haaland disappeared for 90 minutes today. He had one chance and he completely missed the ball on his strongest side.
He got pocketed, Haaland, today. Yeah. Just like he did against us, he got pocketed, Haaland.
Exactly.
He can't play big games. He is an abysmal football player. And Roy Keane came out and said it. He akined him to a League Two player. He said he's a fantastic finisher in front of goal. But Roy Keane is 100% right. Darwin Núñez is a better football player. And I said this when we signed Darwin Núñez, and everybody laughed at me. I said when we look back on it, Darwin Núñez will be considered a better football player, but Erling Haaland will have more goals. And I don't like being right all the time, but sure, look, it's a habit for me at this stage. Erling Haaland is an abysmal football player, and it's the laziest football player that I've ever come across. Yeah. Darwin Núñez will run into the ground for you, and you will have to drag him kicking and screaming off that pitch. Erling Haaland will walk off if you ask him. But it is one of those. Justin, same question to yourself before I move on to Reese before we finish up for the evening, is those fixtures that we have left. I'll repeat them for you as well, just in case. So we have Sheffield, United, Palace, Fulham and Everton in a double game week in 34, West Ham United, Tottenham, Aston Villa and Wolves. Considering who we have in the squad at the moment and who's going to come back, who do you think is going to be the most influential in securing us a Premier League title by the end of the season?
Well, I would naturally say echo what Dean said, and more or less, you never really know who's gonna come and save the day. Everybody contributes. But I would really, in terms of influence, I'd be looking forward to Trent coming back and really picking back up where he left off, because you have Euros coming up. He's been out for a while, and there's all this talk about Bradley taking his spot. I think Trent really needs to step up and show why why he's been made vice captain this season.
Yeah. Exactly. He could be another one that comes back as well. That we've Alisson to come back, and we've Trent to come back, we've Curtis Jones to come back, we've Diogo Jota to come back, we have who else is there? Jesus, who else is there to come back? We've Andy Robertson to come back. Our injured 11 could nearly win the league at this rate. Reese, the same fixtures and the same question to yourself. Who realistically is here? Get it? No, this you'd nearly get kicked for this comment. Fuck off with that, monster. Thiago, yeah, he'll be really helpful in the medical room, telling people what not to do.
Let's not kick Thiago while he's down. Let's not.
Well, he's down. He's never been up. He's always down.
I disagree with that, but yeah. But to echo what Justin and Dean said, I think everyone's going to play a part. But for me, if I had to pick two players, I'd pick Trent for his creativity. I think we are missing that, even though we did do well today. And I think Jota with his clinicalness, when I think about some games like the City game, the chance we had, even today, we probably would have won by a bit more. So I think everyone will play their part, but those are the two I'm looking forward to most when they come back, is Trent for the creativity and Jota for his clinicalness in front of goal.
Exactly. Jota could end up doing nothing for the next 8 games and then sealing the Premier League in spectacular fashion against Wolves on the last day. Or it could be very storybook, and it could be a young man by the name of Joe Gomez that could score the winner and win us the Premier League. And I think it's written in the stars.
I just want him to get a goal. That's what I would like. If you can get his first Premier League goal, then yeah. It's a bonus. If it happens to be where he gets the winning goal to win the Premier League, that's a bonus. But if you can get just his first goal in general for Liverpool, that's what I'm trying to. Fingers crossed.
I think it's just written in the stars. It's gone so long at this point that it's going to be a cracker of a goal, and it's going to mean that we win something. It's going to either win us the Europa League, send us through to the final, or send us through to the semi-finals. It's going to be such an influential goal on the season. It's not just going to be like the 5th goal in a 6-1 battering of a team. I thought he was going to score against Sparta Praga when we were up 3-0 in 10 minutes, but he didn't even score there. But I genuinely, it's written in the stars that he's going to score the most influential goal of the season, and the whole stadium is going to storm the pitch and jump on top of him 100%. But yeah, that is where we are going to leave it today, guys. A little bit of a shorter one today. We apologize for starting a bit late, but I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening and thanking everyone for their contribution. Paul is after asking the question, and I'll answer this. Both of them, they're both stealing a living. Thiago's getting paid 200 grand a week to get himself rubbed out, and Adrian is just there for vibes. So the two of them can get shot from a cannon this summer, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure you have your notifications on for all future videos. Jen, as always, top contributor, £4.99 that is going to go straight back into the channel and help our summer transfer window, as you did help last season. You're going to and all the money that's been given in since January. We didn't buy anybody in January, but it's all been put into a kitty for the summer transfer window, so we don't have to worry about that. Thank you guys so much for joining us. From myself, Dean, Justin, and Reese, we appreciate every one of you, and we will see you on Thursday again for another post-game stream, but we'll be back again live tomorrow from 7:30 UK time. Our clocks have now gone forward, so I think it's okay for everybody now. Maybe some people have got a bit, look, Justin had a bit of issues today, but sure, look, we'll work through it. It'll be fine. We won't worry about it. Thank you guys so much for joining us. From myself, Dean, Justin, and Reese, pleasure as always. Liverpool are top of the Premier League, and that's how it's going to be in 8 weeks' time as well. Talk to you later, guys.